Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Witch Hat Atelier. Last time around we had, what was it, the Ruins of Romanon? I think that's what it was called. So we got a little history lesson about the Serpent Back Cave and how it was a path, a test to see if someone was worthy or not to go to the civilization of Romanon. However, their whole ideas of worthiness and everything ended up turning back on themselves, and the entire society collapsed, and all that's left now is the Serpent Back Cave. So Riche, Agat, and Iuni were going through, trying to figure out different things, how to get through, also all of them using their own methods, and Iuni definitely trying to get over his difficulties, his own troubles, basically, with being seen and, thinking that he can't do it, and they were able to do it, and then Alira got accosted by a terrorist, basically. The Brimmed Cap has showed up and has captured Alira, and she has told them, don't listen to what they say, just go try to get through here on your own now. So, which, I mean, they had to get through there on their own anyway. But now there's a terrorist involved, so yeah, that is pretty much where we left off. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So why don't we just go ahead and jump right into the season finale of Witch Hat Atelier. Here we go. It really should have been 2 cores. They should have gone for 2 cores, because that is not a satisfying end to the season. So, Season 2 is in production. No confirmed date as to when Season 2 will come out, but they are working on it. I saw one little Reddit comment that was like, I bet they ended it on a cliffhanger just to make people read the manga. I'm not going to read the manga, I'm reacting to the anime. Here's the thing, though. If I was not reacting to this anime right now, I would go read the manga right this second. Because, yeah, no. What a, kind of a dick thing to do, Kind of a dick thing to do to just cliffhang us right there. This is kind of, it's similar, but to a lesser extent, to the end of Dandadan Season 1. Now, the funny thing is, I didn't actually finish Dandadan Season 1 in the anime. By about episode 8, I switched over to reading the manga because I just preferred... I just wasn't jiving with the pace of the anime, so I started reading the manga, and I enjoyed it much more. But I do know where Season 1 of Dandadan ends, and it's at a very risque scene of, Momo in the hot spring, and she's being assaulted by a bunch of ugly bastards. And the season just ends there, and it's like, well, come back next season. It's like, dude, what a terrible place to end the season. So when I was reading it, I just go to the next chapter, and spoiler alert, she doesn't get assaulted. I think she beats the crap out of them, and then Turbo Granny comes in and beats the crap out of them. So that's at least good. But yeah, but because I'm reacting to Witch Hat Atelier, I'm probably not going to go read the manga. Because I want it to be... I don't know. Should I just give up on that and just go read the manga? Because again, it's like, Season 2 is in production, but... I want more. I want more of this. I guess... Here's the thing. So I've kind of been toying around with a video idea where I read manga on camera. And I started doing it with One Punch Man, because Season 3 of One Punch Man was so bad that I was just going to go and read the manga. But I have not kept up with that. I've read like the first 20 chapters because I was also going to reread the beginning. So at this point, I don't know. I was also going to do that with Vinland Saga. But now I'm kind of looking at it, it's like, because I started over from the beginning on One Punch Man. Also because it's been years since I watched those seasons. But now I'm almost wondering if with something like Vinland Saga or this or Kaguya-sama, because I know that while Kaguya-sama did get another TV special to kind of round out everything, from what I've heard, it skips a lot of the manga. it just skips over like an entire arc of Ishigami and everything. So I was thinking, well, maybe I should just read the manga. Maybe I don't even restart. Maybe I just start from where I left off. So I don't know. Maybe you guys let me know. It's not something I would do like immediately. Like, we're not going to do this like next week. But let me know. Should I just switch over to reading the manga of Witch Hat Atelier, but reading it on camera, basically? And now that doesn't mean it would be like the full, like I wouldn't be just giving you the full manga, basically. What I would do is I would read it, and then I would cut up highlights of, kind of like with the reactions. Like, I don't give you the full reaction, pretty much, unless you're on full length. And even then, I don't give you the footage for it. But it would kind of be like that, like I do with a normal reaction, where I cut up the episode into a little chunk, basically, of all the things that I said during the episode, but I would basically just be doing that with the actual manga. Let me know if you guys would be into that, because I do want to keep going, you know? I do really want to keep going. And then that also would not mean that I would just abandon the anime altogether. So when Season 2 does come out, I would still react to Season 2. I would just be, you know, I would already pretty much know what's happening, you know? And so I don't know. I don't know. Because that does kind of take away from the anime reactions at that point. But at the same time, I do really want to know what happens next. And there is no confirmed date on Season 2. Just that it's in production. And so yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you enjoy me reading the manga on camera? And if so, maybe we can do that. Maybe that could be a fun thing for us to do, is keep talking about Witch Hat Atelier. You know, how many chapters are they up to now? I'd be curious. Well, it's on 16 volumes right now. I wish they would just put chapters, but looks like they're currently on chapter 97. So they're coming up to they're coming up to chapter 100. So maybe what I could do is actually there's something. So there are descriptions on the first 3 volumes here of the manga, and volume 3, which goes through chapter 17, basically gets us to just a couple episodes ago with Coco being sick and Tarta helping him, Tarta helping her, and her and Kifri getting back. So pretty much like to episode 10, I would say. Yeah, I think so. So volume 3 gets us to episode 10. So maybe I would start at like volume 4, which is chapters 18 through 23. Either that or volume 5, which is chapters 24 to 29. And then I would just read from there. And I would go back a little bit on this arc in particular and, like, you know, pretty much read like what this episode was and then go from there. So yeah. And we could do that in, like, you know, a decent number of videos. Like we could like maybe go through like this entire arc basically, or we could do like 10 chapters in a video. So let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Should I continue Witch Hat Atelier by reading the manga? Because I'm very tempted. I'm very, very tempted to do that because I love Witch Hat Atelier. Like, we'll obviously we're still going to get into this actual episode, but this has been one of my favorite shows now that we've done. Like, I really, really enjoyed this, and you know, I kind of did this on a whim because I had heard Giga talk about this show as sort of, you know, one of the big 3 of fantasy anime coming up. Like, this would be part of the big 3 of fantasy anime. So it was Frieren, Delicious in Dungeon, and this, and all 3 I've reacted to now. And so yeah, I wanted to react to this because, like, oh, this is a big 3. It's, you know, on par with Delicious in Dungeon and Frieren, so I gotta watch this. And sure enough, this is really, really damn good, and I want to continue, but we have no word on when season 2 will come out. All we have is that they are in production of it, and they ended us on a cliffhanger. You know, I literally said, it's like, oh, I love watching a scene. I love watching a fight scene where you know, you have the main character, but then you have their master just protecting them in this fight. It's like, that's great. Come back in maybe a year. You know, who knows how long it's going to be. before we can actually see that. And it's like, I don't know. I kind of want to just keep going. So let me know. Let me know in the comments. Would you be down for me just continuing on with the manga? You know? I don't know. I'd be curious. I'd be curious to see, because I also do want to do that with Vinland Saga. At least with this, they did at least say they are working on season 2. So I will give them that. Vinland Saga, there is nothing about season 3. Mappa is just like, well, we have to make our crappy Jujutsu Kaisen show, which is terrible and garbage and awful and terrible. So, that's the big thing, though. That's what everyone loves because they're stupid, and I'm being too harsh. It's obviously fine if you like Jujutsu Kaisen. I just didn't like it. But because they're focusing so much on Jujutsu Kaisen and the actual good show that they have, which is Chainsaw Man, which, thank God, they're at least making something good. But they're not making something which is great, which is Vinland Saga. So that might be another video that I want to do, is reading, especially too, at least with Vinland Saga, is that Vinland Saga has ended. The manga has ended. So if I did that, I would at least get to a stopping point. We have no idea how long Witch Hat is going to be going for. So, and I guess there does arise the problem that eventually I would catch up to the manga of Witch Hat, and then I would kind of be left in the same place. But they do come out. Do they come out monthly? They probably come out monthly, considering, because I think they've. I think the manga has been running for like 10 years. Yeah, since July of 2016, so literally 10 years, and they haven't even cracked 100 chapters yet. So I'm going to assume that it comes out monthly, which is fine. That's totally fine. That's totally fine that it comes out monthly. So yeah, and who knows? Maybe we'll just do monthly Witch Hat videos at that point. So. But that's the thing, is that it does come out monthly, so you can be like, okay, even when I catch up, I'll be like, all right, now I'll wait a month, and then the next chapter will come out. Whereas here, it's like, bye, see you in maybe a year if you're lucky. It's like, okay, thanks for that. Thanks for that. And it's like, I don't want to rush them either. I don't want to rush the anime either, because the animation is just so good. So it's like, I don't want to rush them and it end up being a crappy adaptation. But at the same time, I want to keep watching. I want to watch more. I want to see more of this world. So, let's move on to the actual episode. Which, there's a little bit of it, because it's just like, well, I almost feel like, this is part 1. I mean, technically it's part 2 of this whole arc, but it's like, this is like a part 1. Like, I need to see the next part in order to really comment on some of this stuff, But Riche took Iuni's spells, which was good, and took his spells, which was good, because, yeah, she doesn't want to, basically because it's like, okay, yes, I understand the principles that you have, I understand the morals and the, the rules that you have for yourself, but terrorists, like, all of that kind of goes out the window when there are terrorists, So, but she did take that. It's interesting too. So the reason that they're targeting them is not even just because they want to lure them in, but it's also another way of luring in Coco. That, in order to protect them, Coco would do anything, including using forbidden magic. So that's kind of where they're going. But I don't know. Are we going to get to that point? That's another question. If we're actually going to get to that point. We'll have to see. We'll have to see when we move on with the next part of the story, on whatever form that is. That's up to you guys, again, if you want me to read the manga or not. But yeah, so that's an interesting thing that it's, and yeah, there is at least a line on Agat's arm now. Do they have tattoo removers? Can they remove a tattoo? I don't know. Like, honestly, if, she has this one line, even though there's not any more of a spell, it's just a line, so it can't do anything. Like, I feel like the best case scenario, if the Knights Morales saw that, is they would just lob her arm off, That would be the best case scenario. The other one would just be completely erasing Agate as a person. So yeah. But then he did that to Iuni instead and turned him into a wolf, which is fucking crazy. And it's like, it is kind of the thing of like, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish per se. I mean, I guess it is the thing of, he's trying to tempt Coco because Coco will use forbidden magic in order to save them, She's not just going to let Iuni live as a wolf forever now. But yeah, it's like, you're not really like, oh, look at all these things we can do. We can force you to be a wolf. And it's just like, I don't think this helps your cause. I don't know if this really helps your cause. Plus the fact that he didn't know what was going to happen. It's like, Walt, I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's like, I don't, like, you're not tempting, but I guess they're not trying to tempt Riche or Agate. So they're trying to specifically get Coco. So even when they even when the brimmed caps attacked them, this is all just because of Coco, And it's interesting too, because Agate remembered that whole thing, that it's like, with Tetia, that she accidentally pretty much, blamed Coco for this. And it's like, oh, it's all Coco's fault. They're only here for Coco. So she tried to use that against them. It's like, oh, Coco's not here. So, there's no point in you doing this, but I like that it wasn't just her just putting blame on Coco. It was her trying to use that to their advantage in order to protect them. It's like, well, Coco's not here. Her mind was erased, so, your plan is foiled. And, yeah, the brimmed cap not believing that in the slightest, so. So, yeah. I don't know. So, yeah, so that was interesting. That was interesting. And, yeah, it's like, I think at this point, I would imagine Agate isn't going to just be blaming Coco. It's like, yes, she is the target of the brimmed caps, but it's not really her fault, Like, I hope that's where they're going with that, is that Agate doesn't actually blame Coco for any of this, so I don't know. We will have to see at some point in the future. I don't know. And that is kind of the problem with this episode. It's just like, okay, I want to see what happens next. It's like Toy Story 2 when they're watching. It's like, well, wait, what happened next? Come on, where's the next episode? That's it. What? The show was canceled. It's like, thankfully, the show has not been canceled. I'm so glad they've at least confirmed they're working on season 2, but like, come on. You cannot leave us on a cliffhanger like that, man. This has made me so glad that Daemons of the Shadow Realm was already confirmed for 2 cores. So, like, we're good for a good while, so I don't know. Honestly, there is a part of me that's like, man, I do wish. And it's kind of funny because, like, at the beginning, we had the first 2 episodes of Witch Hat released simultaneously, so we did both of them in the same video. And I kind of said that originally, I felt like Witch Hat didn't need 2 episodes to start. Like, the first episode would have been enough to hook people. And then, you move on to episode 2 next week. Whereas Daemons of the Shadow Realm, I felt like that needed 2 episodes immediately just to really get into what we were doing a bit more. And now the same thing is true at the end, where it's like, I feel like Witch Hat needed 2 cores in order to get more of what we're trying to do. Just don't leave us on a cliffhanger like that. Whereas Daemons of the Shadow Realm, I'm pretty satisfied so far. I've only watched 8 episodes so far. I haven't recorded 9 and 10 yet, even though they probably came out before this video came out. But I haven't watched episode 9 and 10 yet, and I kind of feel like I'm really glad that it's getting a 24 episode season. But at the same time, I am kind of like, yeah, we probably could have just worked at 12 episodes. So what a funny thing that they both kind of, in terms of release, like, they both kind of have what the other one needed, basically. So yeah, that's that, I guess. That is that. We're left on a cliffhanger, and it's not going to be resolved, next week, basically. So either we're going to wait for season 2 to come out, or, again, this is all up to you guys. Would you like me to just start reading the Witch Hat Atelier manga on camera, basically, and just react to the manga. I have no idea, you know, and I know I don't need to put this much work into it, probably. I mean, I know I'm a small channel, but I don't know. I just want... I want to be able to keep going with this. Otherwise, you know... Otherwise, I'd probably just pack it in and only watch anime on my own time. But I like this. I like doing the discussions. And I don't want to just read the manga without doing some sort of discussion with it. And that's what I would be doing if I read the manga on camera. So yeah, let me know if you guys want that. If not, we'll wait for season 2, which thankfully is already in production. But yeah, that is pretty much it, unfortunately. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Witch Hat Atelier reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.